Lone Rider here, and just thought I'd share something with you. Sort of a PSA or public service announcement. Turn signals exist to warn people of an impending course or speed alteration. I've had plenty of experiences both on my bike and in my car where people either don't signal at all. I guess they're born without thumbs. Maybe they have flippers for feet. I don't know. Or they signal after they've already altered their speed and or course. And that's not sufficient, okay? If you've already started to slow down, if you've already started to turn, if you've already started to do anything except for proceed at traffic speed, it's too late to put on your turn signal, all right? You're putting on your turn signal after you've started to slow down or turn or stop or whatever, or change lanes, doesn't accomplish anything, all right? The purpose of the turn signal is to warn other road users of an impending speed or course alteration. If you've already started to alter your speed or course before you put on the turn signal, then putting on the turn signal after the fact doesn't do anything, okay? And a lot of drivers, they just figure this is a matter of courtesy. I guess that's because they're protected inside a big metal box. Well, go out there on a bike, and you'll see that a lot of things that to other people in cars are merely rude or might cause a fender bender can actually be deadly, okay? So the person that doesn't use a turn signal, realistically, they're a menace to public safety, and they're actually, they're literally throwing their car around without care for warning other people before they do so. It's the moral and practical equivalent of somebody going into a crowded room and discharging a shotgun with their eyes closed. They're throwing around something that's very dangerous, and that if it hits somebody else will cause immediate physical harm without warning. And I'm not entirely sure how much of this is due to our culture's apathy towards cell phone use in situations where it's not appropriate, safe, or legal, or how much of this is just people don't understand that rules regarding traffic interaction exist for a reason. But signaling a lane change or signaling a turn is not something that you do just to avoid being considered rude or a jerk. It's something you do to avoid killing another human being. Okay? It's something you do because you don't want to cause a situation that results in somebody being injured, killed, or having property damage. And frankly, we need to step up our game. We need to get with it, and we need to acknowledge that this is a big problem. I'm seeing an increasing amount of people on the roadways who either don't use turn signals at all. Presumably, they figure that they and everyone around them is either immune from the laws of physics, or they just literally don't care if they cause somebody to be injured or killed. Maybe they're a sociopath. I don't know. But I find it hard to believe that there's that many sociopaths, right? That would be alarming if there were. So I have to assume that they're not a sociopath. They don't want to flat out kill everybody around them or cause a situation that could result in everybody around them being injured or killed. So then why is it they're doing this? Well, I honestly think it's people don't understand anymore. And perhaps this is something we need to address in, driver's education. Perhaps this is something that needs to be addressed, by police enforcement and ticketing. But at the end of the day, the reason that, Henry Ford or whomever equipped your car with turn signals is so that you can warn people around you before you alter speed or alter course. If you activate the turn signal after you've done either, it's not sufficient. And if you don't use it at all, it's not sufficient. So, just a PSA, don't be that guy or that gal that's acting like they're a sociopath and doesn't care if they kill everyone around them or cause everyone around them to be involved in a collision or die in a fiery, conflagration or have their car smashed or their bicycle smashed or be, run over and crushed to death. Have some awareness for the fact that you're operating, a vehicle that weighs thousands of pounds and is powered by a series of small controlled explosions. And you need to warn other people around you what you're going to do before you do it, right? That's the whole reason your car is equipped with turn signals. And if you don't use them, you're part of the problem. Okay, you're a menace to public safety and road users everywhere. And frankly, maybe we just need to get people to get involved and just start reinforcing this socially, with things like, for example, beep at everybody who doesn't use a turn signal whenever they change lanes or turn without signaling, right? Or if they signal too late. That might lead to road rages if people get angry at being beeped at, but I'm trying to just kind of, throw out ideas here. How can we reinforce that this is something you should not do, right? Obviously, policemen can issue tickets and that sort of thing, but they don't seem to. At least not enough to curtail the behavior. So, I have to wonder what we can do. Certainly, beeping at everybody who doesn't signal a turn is an option, I guess. But at the end of the day, just keep in mind, if you don't use a turn signal and something bad happens as a result, whether it's somebody beeping at you, whether it's an actual collision, it's all on you, because you're not obeying the law. And two, you're not doing something that you're required to do for safety. That law, requiring that you signal your turn or your lane change or whatever, exists for a reason. And that reason is to avoid inflicting harm on other people. So, again, this is something that I don't think people realize. I don't think they conceptualize. Generally speaking, I think a lot of people put very little thought into their road use, and that's something that, in general, I think needs to change. But in particular, as far as turn signals and altering course goes, if you don't signal your turns, like, what are you doing? Think about it. You're endangering everyone around you. You're the moral equivalent of the person who walks into a crowded room and starts discharging a shotgun with their eyes closed. Because literally that's all you represent to everybody around you at that moment. You represent a physical threat to their safety because you're throwing around something that's dangerous without warning or regard for the harm it can do. So, in the shotgun example, it would obviously be shotgun projectiles. In the case of the unsignaled driver, they're throwing their car around like a projectile. But nevertheless, the whole point is that you're engaging in behavior that no normal person would engage in. No sane person would walk into a room and randomly discharge a shotgun with their eyes closed in a crowded room. Think about it, right? You could hit somebody. What do you think you could do if you throw your car around on the road without signaling beforehand? Think about it. So, just sort of a PSA, don't be that guy or that gal. Don't be the person who's a menace to road users everywhere. And if you are one of those people who finds that everywhere you go, people are beeping at you, maybe, just maybe, it's because you're doing something illegal and unsafe, like not using a signal. And rather than get angry at everybody and get indignant, you should check your premises and say to yourself, well, what am I doing that's causing everybody and their brother to think that I'm a menace? Right? Not for nothing. So, just a thought. Be safe out there, and we'll ride her out.